Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. Happy Tuesday to you. Okay, let's get started. If you're new here, welcome. I am... Who am I? Just kidding. My dog just barged in the door. He is being so cute tonight. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I am here to talk about law of attraction in your business. I wrote the book called The Inspired Entrepreneur. You can find it over on Amazon. I would buy the print version because it's a nice book you can have on your desk or on your bookshelf. So whenever you glance at it or have an idea about something, you can just flip it open and the universe will give you the perfect message that you need. I've done it so many times that it has gotten me out of funks. It's gotten me on the right track. It's given me a lot of clarity. Every time I use my own book, I'm like, I love this book. Okay, so let's get started. So today is April 6th. And I've been, you know me, I'm lost with dates, and that's just apparently part of my identity since I've talked about it a million times. See how that works? But it's not really that big of a deal. April 6th. Let me read the message and then we'll talk a little bit. The only work there is, the work of staying in alignment. The rest is easy. Okay, this is one of the biggest things, alignment. So the only work. So like when we think about our work, we sometimes think, a lot of people do think that it's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work. It's hard work. It's hustle. You got to grind. You got to do all this stupid stuff, right? Excuse me. And we know over here in the law of attraction world that it's not about hard work. When it's hard, when things are hard, it means the energy is not lined up. I can pinpoint that with everybody. Like when they're acting that way, it's like, it's just not lined up. If you want to hear something that got really lined up, listen to yesterday's episode because, you can line it up really quick. You can line things up by getting out your notebook and writing about what it is that you want. Not like, well, I want this car. No, it's about, I love feeling good. I love feeling excited about my work. I love meeting new people. I love talking about the law of attraction. I love when you line it up by the things that you say. You line it up by the things that you think about, the things that you write about. Line it up. Instead of saying, oh my God, I'm so tired. This was me during dinner. I'm so tired. Well, this was me before dinner, and then dinner was really good. But I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't feel like doing this, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to go eat and got away from my computer. And now I came back and it's like, I just lined it up. Just line it up. Line up the thoughts that lead you to what it is that you want. I wanted to get my podcast done because I needed to. So I have to line it up. I have to stop saying, I'm so tired, blah, 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 whatever. And I have to be like, you know what? I really love when I get my work done. I really love when I'm productive. I love when I get the things done that I want to get done. I love being on time. I love, I just love doing my work. Okay. So alignment, the only work there is the work of staying in alignment. Staying in alignment really means managing your emotions. So if you have a hard time managing your emotions, then you know that is work. That is work. That is the hardest work that I do. I don't do anything in my life that's hard. The only thing that ends up being hard at times is managing my emotions. Not feeling sad about things or not feeling upset about things, not getting out of the vortex, not thinking things, getting annoyed with people. You know what I mean? So I've had to look at, over time in my life, like I have moved away from relationships that just were not working for me. Long-term relationships with friends and exes and stuff like that, because they just simply were not working for me. And I knew I wanted more. So I'd move away from them, like just break it up. Like I'm really good with moving on. And I was not good with moving on in the past, like early on. I had, extreme issues with breaking up with people, or just really very emotional. I was, a very depressed person, and a bit codependent in my very, very early years, like the first, when I was like early 20s. And then I got over it. I went to see a therapist for a couple sessions and then realized how ridiculous it was and how it was interfering with my life. And then I became very independent and very like kind of detached a little bit from people. And that serves me really well because I like being independent. I like just not being that person I used to be. But I'm really good with just moving on. Like I'm really good with knowing that relationships do not need to be forever. I'm really good about, I'm really good with like people passing away. Really good with understanding non-physical energy, non-physical, when people leave the physical world, that they're still with us, non-physical. So like it's a rare moment that I get sad about anybody's passing. It's rare because I know that they're still here. Like I get that. So I don't mourn people's death. Maybe for a little bit. It's just a natural reaction to be like, oh, they died. And then in that sentence, I'm like, oh yeah, they're physically not here, but they're non-physically here. So I don't know. So I've worked on the emotional piece because I knew that when I can't manage my emotions, I'm out of alignment, and then life gets really difficult, really difficult. Let me know. Come on over to YouTube. I post this podcast every morning on YouTube. But come on over and let me know how you're doing emotionally, like managing emotions, because it is the work. That's the work, is managing emotions, like managing your thoughts on everything. It's not just like getting upset about things. It's like literally controlling anxiety, controlling worrying, fear, all those things, all those emotions. It's about understanding that it's just being out of alignment. And so I don't worry about things because I know that worry is like using your imagination for to create things you don't want. And that once I realized that, I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to worry about anything anymore. So I don't worry. And the minute I have a feeling of worry, I get back into alignment because I don't want to create the things that I don't want. I did that for most of my life. And I created a lot of things I did not want at all. So I don't want to do that anymore. So I only want to create, like on purpose, create things that are amazing and wonderful and abundant and like mind-blowing. So the only work there is the work of staying in alignment. The rest is easy. When you're in alignment, it's easy. Life is so freaking easy. Excuse me. Life is easy when you're in alignment. It's just, it feels good. It's like you're happy. You're like happy-go-lucky, feeling of freedom, feeling of feeling free. What else? Let me know. Come on over. Like I said, participate over on YouTube. Let me know how things are. I was talking to somebody tonight, and, very quickly I can tell that, like I will end the conversation pretty quickly with something. Like we're talking Facebook groups, which still, I still am getting out of Facebook groups. But occasionally I'm in one for a course or something. And I'm always taking courses on like learning the new thing that I want to learn. And but when somebody says something, like I'm really good about building like a following, a platform. I've been really good. I was talking to somebody and very quickly I could tell, okay, end the conversation, Heather, because they literally don't understand. They're already disagreeing with you about something. And she just was like, well, that will just give me a sense of false hope. And I'm like, there is no such thing as false hope, but okay. There's hope, but, so she just didn't want to listen to me, and she had no experience whatsoever in building platforms or followings, let's say followings. And so I was telling Roger about that, and he just looked at me and he's like, how many followers do you have on Facebook? I'm like, I'm going to think for a second. I'm like 13,000. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, and this woman that disagreed with me had two followers. And I'm like, I know. It's unfortunate that she can't hear through her own belief system, because she went on with 2 paragraphs of her belief systems that are like so opposite of what we over here believe and know to be true. So I'm like, I will end the conversation very quickly, because I'm not going to sit here and try to convince somebody of my beliefs. That's not my job. That's, her, maybe one day we'll figure it out, but oh well. Because if anytime that I've been in discussions with people and they progress, a lot of times it just throws me out of the vortex. And then I'm just like, no, okay, this isn't worth it. It's not worth being out of the vortex with some stranger on the internet, So I've learned to really back off and to basically stay out of people's business. That's what Abraham Hicks tells us to do. Stay out of people's business, because when we're in other people's business, it really takes us out of the vortex. And at this point, I love not giving people advice. I love not talking a whole lot. I love when people don't give me advice. It's a rare occasion when somebody says something to me and I'm like, holy crap, that feels weird, because I just don't have people in my life anymore that tells me, gives me a life advice or tells me what they think I should do. Like I love the unconditionalness of the relationships I have. Like my own father, like he's incredible. Like we don't have the relationship where he meddles or anything like that. He's never been that way. And it's really nice. It's really nice to not have people. Now my grandmother was a different story. She was very judgmental and very in my business and very like pushed me. Like I would be pushed away all the time because I never conformed with her. So she's like my closest relationship now. She's non-physical, but like I think we kind of have a better relationship now. You'll hear that with about Esther and Jerry, that they're like I think I've heard that they kind of have a better relationship now. They had a great one, right? But I think they have like a very special, really, really cool relationship now that he's been non-physical for 10 years. But I get that. I kind of get that because everything's good. And I think my relationship with my grandmother is better now than it was when she was physical, because it's completely unconditional and loving. And in the past, it was a lot of meddling and a lot of resistance. So anyway, managing emotions, remembering that, emotions are your guidance, right? So it's really telling you what, that focus is needed. So when I'm outside the vortex, it's like, oh yeah, I need to focus back on what it is that I want. It's just guidance. When I'm out of the vortex, it's like, oh yeah, what is it that I want? Okay, yeah, that's what I want. Okay, think about that for a little bit, or think about something really good, and I'm back in the vortex. That's the only work, because the rest is easy. If you're in the vortex in alignment, the rest is easy. Okay, guys. I'm gonna let you go because I feel like my voice is so horsey that I don't know why. So maybe it's that nighttime vibes going on. So anyhow, have an amazing rest of your Tuesday, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye bye.